Hey guys, yes, I'm still alive. Yes, I do want to upload way more frequently. Yes, I'm still working on my webtoon series. And yes, I still want to keep the channel up. At the moment though, with a promotion as manager at my full-time job, free time is quite a luxury. It's been that long since my last update? Never mind that, let's just jump right into today's topic. Hey, remember that one little video from ancient times I made about the Dutch theme park Efteling? If not, you can always watch that for extra context. I might have mentioned briefly one of the rides present at that park, that being their haunted castle Spookslot. And yes, this is the name of the ride, so I'm gonna use it. Why are we talking about this very specific topic? They're gonna get rid of Spokeslot. The reaction of the public was...
But you can't do this to me.
You gotta be fucking kidding.
No! God, please, no! No!
Is this some kind of sick joke?
Yeah, we Dutchies didn't take this very well. However, let me give you a scenario here. I have never ever seen a line of people waiting for this ride. But now all of a sudden everybody claims this is a beloved classic and Efteling should be ashamed of themselves to destroy it. Where were all these people every time I visited the park? And I visit that park a lot, so what gives? Jongens, landgenootjes, even een onderrondje hier. Kijk, ik snap dat het jammer is dat het Spookslot weggaat en ik geloof best dat het voor velen hier een grote nostalgische waarde heeft. Alhoewel in de Efteling zo'n beetje elke stoeptegel is nostalgisch, dus wat dat betreft. Het Spookslot staat er tenslotte al ontzettend lang. Was praktisch dé attractie waar alles mee begon toen de Efteling zijn transitie naar pretpark maakte. Maar laten we even eerlijk zijn hier jongens. Spookslot heeft echt wel zijn beste tijd gehad. Het arme ding hangt aan een zijden draadje. Onderhoud is gewoon bijna niet meer mogelijk. En dit alles zou nog enigszins gerelativeerd kunnen worden als er mensen nog steeds voor tot aan buiten in de rij gingen staan. Maar dat is dus niet het geval. Het trekt bijna geen publiek meer de laatste jaren. Zeker niet als de Efteling toppers heeft zoals Droomvlucht, Symbolica en de Baron. Kijk, Spookslot is ook voor mij een hartedief. Zeker, ik vind het ook reuze jammer. Maar ik snap de drastische keuze van het park best. Het is zo oud en gedateerd. Niet meer interessant voor deze tijd. Soms is iets gewoon aan het einde van zijn Latijn en daar doe je helaas niks aan. Niks is voor eeuwig. And back to business. Now that we know Spokeslot is gonna be gone next fall, it did spark my creative fluids a little bit. As far as I'm aware of, Efteling hasn't exactly leaked out details of what is gonna appear in its place, but they did copyright the name Danse Macabre so that no Dutch amusement park can use the name as well anymore. Because, you know, Danse Macabre is the music piece played in Spookslot's main show. So that does tell me that there is gonna be a successor of Spookslot. Interesting. So with this in mind, I came up with my own little mini project. Oh wow, we finally reached the actual topic of this video. Designing a theme park ride. No, not like that. I mean really design a fully fledged out concept for the next Spookslot, which is gonna receive the name Danse Macabre. Exterior, interior, story, queue area, loading area and the ride itself. This is completely for fun, so nothing here is any indication that this is an actual project of the Efteling. This is just me wanting to make a theme park ride, because you know I love the Efteling. You may have caught up at this point. To start, I brainstormed about two things. What kind of theme park ride and what story? First question was relatively easy, as it is going to be a haunted house type of ride. We are going with, well, a dark ride. Efteling style, of course. A doom buggy system will be the mode of transport. Old school, similar, but with a unique flavor to it. At first I was thinking of a trackless dark ride, but the Efteling already has one of those, so little variation. What about the story? Each Efteling ride has to have a story. Visualize this. In an old village near the old area of Vlaanderen, local gossips and rumors spread about a big black dog with red eyes that wander around the countryside at night. Children are warned about it, for it's assumed the dog is a bad omen. In reality, the dog is a man, a librarian/writer with the name Dr. Mortius. He lives in his old library that is located near the village at the edge of the forest, where he lives in solitude. But the man loves to receive guests and tells them stories. As an author that specializes in the macabre and horror, he has his record of scary, spooky tales. However, he has a very visual way of telling his stories. With a special typewriter, everything written with this device has the potential to come to life once it's read out loud at 12 o'clock midnight. As such, as visitors come to see his library, and Dr. Mortius guides them as the black dog through enchanting, haunting scenes and happenings. Zombies dance, ghosts make music, and tombstones move. Simple story, not much more is needed, but as a premise for a dark ride, it's enough to work with. The very next thing is creating a concept of the exterior. This is more to set a mood, an atmosphere and theme. A vibe this ride is gonna trigger. The exterior of this dark ride consists of two parts. The guest building, which is the part of the exterior directly visible to the guests and their first impression of the ride. And of course the show building. The building where the actual ride takes place. Now in almost all cases, the show building of rides are hidden from plain view. The idea that guests don't directly see this plain big building as to not break any illusion. So show buildings are either hidden or partly decorated. In this case, the show building is directly next and connected to the guest building. The guest building itself depicts the library itself, and within this building is the indoor part of the waiting area. Guests are greeted with 3 statues of Dr. Mortius' dog form, and the eyes glow, even flicker a little bit. Let's zoom in on the interior of the guest building. This consists of 2 main parts of the indoor queue. 2 rooms. The first room is mostly bookcases with portraits. The second is a bit more dark. You know, with weird things in jars, spooky artifacts and skulls. I would love to have some motion in the waiting queue. Little things like eyes of the skulls that move, something twitching in one of the cases, a book that moves slowly. How about some good old pepper ghost effect here and there, like the things in jars disappear or change into something else. We already see something like this with the Eastern spirit that is now present in Spookslot. This gigantic monster is in the waiting area right now and has an orb that contains a head, which changes slowly as guests wait. This is what I mean, little motions in the room here and there so that guests are never really bored of waiting, which is what I want to achieve here. Next up is of course the loading area, where the guests board their buggies. Here we have a big room with a high ceiling that is practically the grand main point of the library, the center if you will, with a big statue of the author watching over the guests, with moving eyes of course. Efteling has a lot of that, statues with moving eyes, so that would work perfectly. The area itself is mostly more bookcases, a small lounge with furniture here and there, and tall mirrors parallel to the tracks. The buggies themselves have a lot of motifs referring to the dog, mainly the head lurking above. Yeah, off-script misflow here. I actually changed the Doom Buggy's design back to a very plain design because I thought having the dog up there as a motif, that would be a little too much on the nose. Now, during the queue line and the loading area, we hear a familiar tune. It's not straight up Dance Macabre yet. Oh no, we are gonna save that baby for later. What we hear here is a slightly calmer yet eerie melody on loop that is similar to it, with of course a violin as the main lead, but not nearly as bombastic as the real deal. And we hear throughout the infamous Wailing Man from the original Spokeslot. Here he is, by the way, an updated version of the animatronic is present in the small basement, visible from above as you dare to look inside. This is a successor to Spokeslot after all, and I will take things from the original animatronic show and add them in here. As we board the buggy, the doctor is welcoming us through a very short narration. He introduces himself, assumes you are familiar with his work, and invites us on a visual tour through all kinds of spooky scenarios.
Dat is de dingen.
Is dat de Oosterse geest?
Oh, niet is.
Oeh! Er is echt helemaal niemand. Er is hier nooit iemand.
Oh,